Hey guys, Black Snakes channel. Doing a handling session with my Apricot Pueblan milk snake. It's been about 3 weeks since I've had her out. I did those 2 feeding videos of her, and several days after that, she went into blue, and a week later, the week before last week actually, she ended up shedding, and I actually had to help her out like I did the Kenyan Samboas, put her in the sink with some warm water, and because it wasn't a complete full shed. So, help her out, get it all off and everything. So I don't have a complete shed to go by, and she's too squirrely yet to try to get a tape measure her next to her. But I'm estimating her to be about 18 inches long. Like I said, I've had her 2 months now. I have the towel because she still likes to musk when I first pick her up and everything. But I'll be feeding her and Ink tomorrow. I'll pick them up some pinkies and whatnot, because like I said, it's been 3 weeks since this one ate. And same with Ink. I fed her the same day. She ate hers in her tank, so. But this one, I had the pinkies in the tank overnight, and she didn't mess with them. So that's why in the feeding videos, I put her in the tub, like I did with the Samboas. And as you guys could see, she ended up eating. She ended up eating then. Trying to get a close-up of her eyes, because her eyes are right on the black part of her head, so it's just really hard to even see her eyes, really. But I've handled her for about 15 minutes before I even started this video, just because she's so wily. Just to kind of almost tire her out a little bit, so she'll be a little more, like she is now. I can finally videotape her without her just constantly moving. So, now Ink shed last weekend, actually. This is Saturday, the 2nd of October. So Ink shed last week, and she shed another full shed. So her first shed was 20 inches long, and this one now is 21, maybe 21 and a half. So Ink's grown an inch, at least an inch or a little over an inch now since, and I've had Ink since the end of July, so about 3 months roughly. I had Ink a month longer than this one, but anyway. But I keep trying to get handling sessions with these guys, just because, try to get them a little more tame and whatnot, and used to being handled, because they just are such squirrely snakes. Like I said, this is the first time it's actually just sitting here now for at least 20 minutes now of me handling it before I even started the video. But anyway, so yeah, Ink went in the shed the week before, and then she shed last weekend, like I said. So yeah, so they're both due now for meals, and it's been a busy week. Otherwise, I would have normally gotten them something to eat 4 days back or whatever. But it's been a busy week, so, and I'll pick up some stuff tomorrow for them. And there she goes. Now, I've been watching some YouTube videos, and I'm fairly certain this is a female, only because on the videos I've watched of milk snakes, the video said females, the tails will kind of just taper off from the vent, and that would be a female. If it's a male, it's a little more blunt still after the vent, and then it'll taper down, and the male will have a shorter tail from the vent, where the female has a longer one. So I'm kind of only going by that. You know, obviously, probe or popping would be the most reliable way to tell exactly what you have, male or female wise. But I was surprised when I ran into this video where he basically was showing the sex of the snakes through tail length and whatnot, which you can't necessarily be accurate with each species of snake this way. But it's kind of nice to know that it's a simpler way to just be able to kind of look and tell what's what. I mean, it's a lot easier than popping them and probing them. I mean, I know people do it, but I just can't imagine, you know, doing that to a snake, really. But, I mean, they do it all the time, so I would just be nervous of possibly actually injuring the snake. You know, especially if somebody, you know, didn't know what they were doing, you know. You could injure it pretty easy, but... So I'll get a video of Ink at some point, you know, and handling her and everything, because, you know, now that she shed a second time, I could actually sort of see a little bit of growth now on her. You know, surprisingly, sometimes it'll be months when you get baby snakes, and they don't really seem like they're growing or making much progress at all, and then all of a sudden they'll just have growth spurts and whatnot, and then next thing you know, it's like, oh, they do have some growth going on. And, you know, other snakes, you can see it right away just with each shed, you know. Like this one's shed once for me already, so, you know. And granted, the shed was in pieces, so. But, I would have to say basically, I'm sure it's obviously grown some little amount anyway, but, you know, it still seems the same as when I got it 2 months ago. But, you know, at least width-wise, you know, pencil size here, but, you know, obviously when they shed, they're growing, so I'm sure this one's probably grew at least maybe half an inch, but it doesn't really look like it. And I don't have a full shed to really go by, so. Like Ink, like I said, I've saved her 2 sheds already, so that way I can obviously pull them out and look and see the difference. The second shed is a touch, you know, an inch longer, and it's a little bit wider. So, I mean, that's, you know, right there, you can go by that with each shed and see the growth rate that way as well, but... But this one's had 5 pinkies since I got it. The very first one, it ate the next day after I brought it home. I put the pinky in the tank, and I was out running errands that Saturday because I got it Friday evening. And then when I came home a few hours later, I peeked in there and the pinky was gone. And so I knew it had eaten it then. So, and then the other videos where it ate the two in the hide there, you know, and then the last 3 weeks ago. So that's 5 pinkies it's eaten since I've owned it. I'll get it, you know, 2 more pinkies tomorrow. I try to feed my snakes like in twos, especially these king and milk snakes, because they have a reputation for having a healthy appetite. So I like to feed them 2 at a time, you know, sometimes 1 if it's a bigger item. But otherwise 2 at a time is sufficient. Same with when I had the Kenyan sand boas. If the rodent was bigger, I'd just give them 1 at a time. If they were a little smaller, I'd give them 2. You know, you've seen those videos, so. But, anyhow. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and put this one up, and I've held her long enough, and just wanted to do a quick, you know, video just to keep updates on them, and you can see how bright she is since shedding 2 weeks back, you know, so. Anyway. All right, guys. That's it for now.